Welcome to Trading Lounge and the daily US stocks for Thursday, November the 4th, and starting with Amazon here. We've been looking at wave 3 with an A and a B and a C for wave 4, and then 5 waves up here for wave 1, and wave 2 pulling back. And let's go and have a look at this here. Because of that spike there, it was a little bit difficult to, or still is a little bit difficult to assess that situation of that wave 2 pullback there because of that news gap there. But wave 4, 1 ABC for 2 here. This wave 2 could also be wrapped up in here. It's kind of interesting in a way because we can also count 5 waves up here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So it could be wave 1 here. And it does count as 5 waves down here with wave C, but this wave 4 has an overlap here. So, but I'll just do it this way here, and let's just go step by step. So yeah, we'd passed that 61.8%, so there was a possibility that we could go long at that point. And the next step is from that top to this low here. The 3400 is the 61.8%, but we would also just expect, I haven't pulled this little trend apart, but we could expect you know, just a normal sort of classic trading levels pattern in this space before we move up here. So don't jump the gun too quick, but we'd be looking to move in again once we've got that classic trading levels pattern set up there above the 61.8% on the 34, which is reasonably important as part of the trading levels thing, as a Fibonacci number, you know, 21, 34, 55, 89, so on, in geometry terms for this. But yeah, we want support on that. If we get that, it really helps the case of us looking higher for this, which is kind of expected because the rest of the market's pushing up, so you'd expect it to push up. So I'm just kind of going in that direction with the wind behind our back, even though that we're on the lows here for this. But yeah, I mean, building into the beginning of the trend is the highest risk. The money's in the turn. You know, it takes intestinal fortitude to move in. But I'm a scaredy cat, so I always I just feed the beast, you know, bit by bit. So yeah, I'm not the sort of wheelbarrow man that just tips it all in. Been there, done that. Yeah, anyway, let's move on. So Google here, wave 4 is the reference point here. We're looking at 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, up for 1 and back for 2. Yeah, I mean, Microsoft is the same as well, but Microsoft has really sort of taken off, you know, and Tesla's in its own world. But this 1-2 business here, this is pretty much what we're looking at across the board. Wave 4 here, the good case for that with an ABC, and 1 and 2. We've been here for a few days now, so yeah, let's just see if it can get off its lazy ass and move up there. Obviously, there's going to be problems at this number here, and we'll see a classic trading levels pattern here. Well, suppose we could use this as the arrival, even though it's a little bit short, and the reaction and the first high above the level, and then the A, B, C for wave 2, and then move up. It's going to take a long time for all of this, so I don't think we'll add any more in this situation. If you wanted to take part profit up here, that would be sensible. And then we'll just wait for the pullback, and we'll feed in. I mean, technically that can pull back. Well, first of all, this move up here should take that high out. So we should end up, you know, between 3,000 and 3,050. And if that's the case, and we take this low here, I'll put it on the 50, well then the 50-60% retracement levels down here for that, you know, so that can pull back into that space. And we don't know what news event's going to create that just yet, you know, more bond buyers coming in or something pushing rates around, who knows, you know, not good for equity markets, all that kind of, you know, all the normal waffle. So yeah, anyway, that's where we are. Let's move on. So Apple here. So we've been obviously wave 4 here. You know, some stocks have taken out the top here, some haven't. This market here has spent time at the medium level 150 here. And really, as I've mentioned, when we first arrived up here, it's going to take a little while. And really, we're just waiting for support. And, you know, it poked up and took some of the wind out of the sail here, which is good. And sharp wave 2 here. Another news event, obviously, like same time as Amazon. Let's go in and have a little look at this here. But it's not quite on support. It's getting there, isn't it? Oh, yeah, no, it's there. It's there. Okay, I just didn't notice it on the daily. Okay, so I just want to bring in a little bit more data. So, yeah, I mean, in an odd way, this pattern here, if we can just look at this for a moment. We've had the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then we've had a correction, and then now we're over here for this. So we'll just, I mean, because each market's a little bit different. So we've had the arrival, the reaction from that, the first high above the level, and then the correction here. It was on a news event, so it's on speed warp, you know. And now you can see it sitting here. So really, I mean, we've already been building in, of course. We're sort of trying to be all over it, but yeah, I mean, normally we would go long above here, and then we'd bring that down to the next level here, and then we'd bring that down to this level here. So it's close enough, near enough, close enough. So that's all good. Yeah, and we've got, this is a corrective move here. So, I mean, that could have been brought down further, by the way, right down into here. But there needs to be a reason for that. And the reason is that this would be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. So a corrective pattern. So then we'd come down to that top, that top, that top, that top, that top. And you could probably even come down to here. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, I'll put that back up there where same thing's occurring here. The arrival, the reaction, first high above it. So it could probably pull back down again here. Yeah, so now we're building into group 1, and just why we're here, I mean, this is all just a bit of a lesson, really. So isn't everything. So 1, 2, and 3 is group 1. So once we get tested support sitting on top of group 1 here, then we know that we're leaving this number, this largest number here, because this is what all this is about here. So apart from that little spike down through here, we can see it sitting nicely in group 2 here, minor group 2 and minor group 1 here. So that's the swing range that we look for, and if we can get support on that, we go. If we get resistance on that, we go. But we'd not like to have the wave count, you know, pointing us in. I mean, that's what Elliott wave is for, isn't it, really? It's just to give us the direction, and that's what I try to do at TradingLounge, is just give people the direction. And I point out trades and things. And I also want to say as well that, you know, for reasonably new traders that, you know, have a bit of pocket money, don't risk too much. You know, if you've got an account, say under 50 or 30,000, well, then 1% per trade, and if you're up near 100,000, well then, you know, bring it down to 0.5%. But risking 5% and 10% on trades, you're just going to blow your account up, you know. And I just don't like to hear those stories come through, you know. So yeah, just, you know, I don't know, study the money management side of things. So anyway, that's that pattern here. And, you know, and it's played out quite nicely. It's, like I mentioned, it's a little bit warped, but you just get the general idea of it, you know, that the arrival, you know, the reaction from that. So taking profit, like if I was coming up here, then I would be taking part profit at number 8 here, or 7, well, 72 is my thing, but depending on what's going on at that particular point in time, yeah, and then the rest of it squeeze out here. You could always get a little bit more above here, but I found that it's not really worth it because it takes up too much of your time, where that money that you take off here could be going into another trade somewhere else, and the time spent in all of this, and you don't know if you should take it at this point or this point or this point, you know, and you're sitting there and you're worrying about it, it churns you up, and it's just trade to the number and get out. That's yeah, so I don't think we need to worry about this B wave here anymore up here, but I'll leave that there, and I'll need to restructure it, not restructure it, but recount this. We're not out of the woods yet. It could still come back down because I don't fully understand this. There's nothing in this thing that I can get my sort of grip into, and I was wondering if we get an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here, but at the same time we were edging in on the long side here, so we're doing all the right things. And yeah, but anyway, that's where we are. Enough waffling, on we go. Square. You know, there's the thing that haunts me here, as I mentioned, this correction is quite big. This next degree higher is smaller. So I'm thinking that, you know, can we actually come down here for that larger correction? But on the bullish side, and the market is bullish, well, then we should be sort of thinking, well, you know, to the upside here. So the only way I can count this is 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 here, and then getting ready to push up through there. So we can go long through here. But yeah, just understand that this, you know, we're not confirmed yet on this. So yeah, looking at this as 1 and 2 here. Let's just look at this as 1 and 2 here. Bit of a long. I don't know that yet. Do you know what I mean? I just don't know. It looks good because I really like this C wave here. Not the actual form of it, but the angle of it compared to the A wave here. I like a sharp A wave and a lazy C wave. It tells me that there's no sellers in here. So yeah, now what we want to see here, of course, is that we've found support, and we could count this down as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Forget about the spike there a little bit. Don't have a really nice impulse wave up here just yet, so I need to be a little bit careful. It could be just a corrective rally. So I want to kind of see 5 waves up here, or a definite, you know, move up there. So that 55, 5 is the second strongest number, so we could use that and we'll get a classic trading levels pattern, because this is either going to be an A wave, a B wave, and come up here a little bit higher as a C wave and then come back down at that point. But otherwise we'll look for that classic trading levels pattern sitting on this level here, and then we can go up at that point. Okay, so yeah, there's risk, but I do like this C wave. I like the look of all of that. We just need to get, you know, we just need something that we can base our trade off. And Facebook. So with Facebook here, yeah, I mean, I kind of like the low here, and it's about time that it went up, you know, and compared to the other markets, it's lagging, it needs to catch up, so it could scoot along quite quickly. We know that it changes its name to Metaverse in the 1st of December. I don't know a lot about all of that, but what I'm looking for in my tiny little mind is that I want support on that number there, the 330. I want a nice tested support on that. That gives me confidence that we're leaving this number and going into the next number, the 5. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 5. So I want tested support there. So me putting this here as a wave 4 low here is a little bit of a guess. So be mindful of that, and I've mentioned that if it doesn't find support, it can certainly come down again. So I want support on the 330, and it needs to maintain that and build on that, and a break of that turns us bearish. But also because we're in group 1 here and the market has traded above the 30 in this little move up here, if it comes back and the number 2 here becomes the retested resistance, then you know that it's going down at that point if that 2 becomes the resistance. So let's just go into the tick chart and look at this. So I have built, you know, I have been building and I have a position in here somewhere, but I have been building this case of 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, but I don't like it. It doesn't seem right. There's something wrong with it. It's not fitting very well. But I'm not too bothered about it. Like I've mentioned, the only thing that I'm really interested in is getting support on this level. So what is support on this level? What does that mean? What does it look like and all the rest of it? So, well, if we go back to the classic trading levels pattern a little bit, and it's a little bit warped, but if I look at this as the arrival and the reaction, and then this is the first high above the level, and this is an ABC correction here, and then moving up here, well, then taking that top out there would tell me that we're leaving this number at that point. Right, but we're a fair way off that, and it's struggling a little bit, and this is not the best looking structure, and I've probably counted it wrong, and your count is probably correct, but I'm not really worried about any of this, to be honest. I mean, it'd be nice if it was beautiful, and that would make life easier, but it's not always like that. So yeah, it can fail from here, certainly. We'll put our stop here, and we'll look to add here, and we just need to wait and see what happens at this particular point. But this, this is a bit of a dangerous one, this particular stock. So don't overtrade on this. Tesla. So I think we've got this blue wave 3 in here now. We've still got more to go in this. We've still got 1 and 2 here, and this is all parabolic third wave stuff. So we've still got, in one way or another, third wave here. We may, may move up further. The 1500 would just a logical target, for wave 5 to play out here for all of this. So let's just keep working it on the intraday basis, and we'll see how it plays out. Let's have a look at that. So on the tick chart. Okay, we'll take it from this green wave 4 on the 1000, major trading level 1. So we've been counting away here. Now, one of the things that... Oh, that's good. That's just cranked up. Okay, well, that's good then. So I don't need it, because I thought, this wave 4 here, I've had this wave 3 here, we had... a wave 4, then a nice little impulse wave up here. It didn't quite make another high here, but is that because it dropped too much here and because of the gap and all that sort of stuff? So I was looking at this being the top of that wave 3 here. This ABC for this blue wave 4 is a little bit small, so I'm thinking, it's got to be bigger than that. But then I looked at this here, and I've got a nice little impulse wave here. I've got an A and a B and 5 waves in here as the C wave. When I did this earlier this morning, it's had that in, I think it were here somewhere, but it's popped along quite nicely now. So we can see that we've got 1 and 2, and we're getting some sort of impulse wave coming into play here for this. So we should be continuing to move up. So I don't think I need... Well, I suppose we could look at this as an A wave and then an ABC for the B wave here, and then down. So we just need to be a little bit careful about that. But yeah, probably not, but I'll just leave that there for the time being. But yeah, certainly expect some vibration here and at these old highs here. But yeah, most people that are trading this are long-term holders, so not such a big deal on all of that. But yeah, no, looking good at that point. So let's cruise along to Microsoft. So this is reminds me of Alphabet really, but it's obviously completely different. Alphabet hasn't taken the high of this wave 3 out yet. It's still down here, but we're also counting a wave 1 and 2 for this orange wave 1 and 2 down here for Alphabet at 3,000. But this is really scooting along here. So yeah, we've got we need to finish this off here, and then we'll have some sort of sharp ABC. This is the one where the news event will come in, whatever that news event will be. Sometimes they just find the nearest thing. Sometimes it's valid, sometimes it just sort of pin the tail on the donkey, so to speak. But yeah, this is the one we need to watch out for. But let's go to the intraday here and check on this. So from that wave 4 here, we counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and then 1 and 2 here. and then yada yada yada. We're still heading higher, so we're not quite at that blue wave 3 yet here. So we're going up for wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and wave 5 here for wave 5 of 3. And then we'll have our little ABCs for wave 4, which we can bring in over here. And then wave 5. So that gives us a really good timing here for all of this, you know. This is going to be quite important across the markets, this one. So, yeah, we've got a nice run up to that point. So that's where that is. We'll also want to have a look today at the banks. So I'll do the banks on this charting program because the other charting program that I got on the daily chart has got all this. It's got all sessions in there. It's got the after session. So there's a lot of spikes in there. So it's a little bit trickier to read. So let me just get this into perspective here. So that should do the trick. We can see everything we need to see. So this is Morgan's here. This is the COVID low here. Looking at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here. There's a bit of a case to count that up as wave 1, but when you see Goldman's and that, you'll see that it's better as wave 2 here, wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and going up for wave 5. So that's it. So it's a daily chart, this one, so we can just bring this out a little bit more. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for 1 and 2 here, and then we're going up for wave 3, 4 and 5 here. So when's that top going to come into play here? So well, that's quite a complicated wave 2, so that might make wave 4 simple. Let me have a little look. How long did that take? This one should do the trick. That's 44 bars, 63 days, 2 months. So that would probably be about 2 months to this high. Maybe a bit earlier, depending on how complicated wave 4 is. Very roughly, like really roughly. We'll get into that later. So that's Morgan's. Goldman's is much the same as well. Here, I'm still working on this, so don't worry about that too much, but we're coming up here. So the same again, we'll have to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and the third wave coming up. Let me just put that in here. I think I've got to take it from here. Still a bit short for that one. Anyway, I'll continue to shape these up a little bit, but this is the top that we're looking for, and Bank of America's a big one, so wave 4 here. That 2 can come over to here, I think. Probably even better there. Oh, still got to use that. It's a little bit odd, but anyway, that's it. Because I have to tie everything in with all the other markets. That's what we have to do. Let me just go back and have a look at Goldman's for a second. Yeah, you can see Goldman's had this low here, so that's why we're placing that as wave 2, but possibly this one here. But anyway, I'll go back and check that. Let's just have a look at this one again. This has got the best structure to the upside, so this will be our template here for this. So yeah, we've been over this one before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we're nearly at the third wave. We've got the fourth wave and the fifth wave to go. So that's where we are at that point for that. And obviously this is going to be a decent sized correction here as well. So we'll see some sort of, Bob Proctor and probably some others in that camp think that that's the end of the world at that point. But we've been through a few Bob's end of world scenarios, so I'm not too fussed about that. But once we get the top here, at least you'll know that you know, there's something serious going on at that. I'll tell you, something serious will be going on at this point, and yeah, but we'll just track this. I mean, technically, just to get you in the picture here a little bit, these 5 waves up here. So we could actually have a deeper correction here as well for this, back to the 61.8%, which would be the, you know, the normal thing at that point to rebalance that 5-wave structure at that point. So yeah, we've got a month or two in to finish this off here. So coming into Christmas will be a nice psychological finishing line for everybody. And yeah, so that's it, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Much appreciated. Cheers.